Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're taking a journey into Rick Rubin's really profound book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being.
Yeah, and it's important to say up front, this isn't like a typical how-to manual. No bullet points here.
Exactly. Instead, Rubin kind of invites us into this deeper exploration of creativity itself, less about what we make, and more about how we are while we're making it.
It's a fundamental shift, really.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to unpack Rubin's underlying message.
And tackle some of those common myths about creativity, the ones that might be holding you back.
Right, and understand why this book feels, well, more essential than ever, especially now in 2025 with AI accelerating so fast.
We'll also distill the, let's say, 5 key takeaways.
And ultimately offer maybe a fresh perspective on what could be next for you, for the listener, in your own creative journey.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Okay, let's begin by setting the stage a bit. When you hear Rick Rubin, you probably think, legendary music producer. Oh, absolutely. Johnny Cash, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Beastie Boys, the list goes on. He's shaped so much music.
For sure. But in the Creative Act, he steps into a different role. He's less like a traditional author just delivering facts.
And more like, I've heard him described as a Zen gardener of creativity.
I love that analogy. It really fits, doesn't it? It
That-
suggests he's not telling you what to grow.
Right, but creating the conditions, the light, the soil, the quiet, maybe. Exactly, creating the conditions for creativity to just naturally flourish within you through everyday rituals of presence and trusting your inner signals.
It's a very quiet invitation, but really powerful.
It is.
And what's truly fascinating about his approach, I think, it's central to everything, is this idea that creativity isn't just a skill you learn or some clever technique.
No, he insists it's more fundamental, a state of being.
Precisely. Think of it like tuning into the world, and maybe even more crucially, tuning into yourself, like you're an antenna, really sensitive.
So less about forcing it, more about receiving.
Yeah, listening deeply, picking up subtle signals, rather than trying to muscle your way through with, quote, genius or pure technique. He keeps coming back to stripping away ego, seeking that real resonance.
Chasing the feeling, not the formula.
Exactly. It's actually quite radical compared to how we usually think creative work happens.
It really is.
And this perspective, it helps us see the core problem Rubin's trying to address. He saw this belief everywhere.
That creativity is somehow rare, or reserved for a special few, or just transactional.
Yeah, something you buy or sell, or that only the gifted possess. He totally challenges that.
Say it's more elemental, accessible.
Lovely human, yeah. He saw, I think, 3 specific problems creators struggle with. First, this idea of creativity as commodity.
Right, where the act itself gets lost in the need for commercial success or approval. Art is just a product.
Then there's the myth of the chosen few. So many people just write themselves off thinking, I wasn't born creative.
Like it's a lottery, you either win or lose, not something inherent.
Exactly. And finally, that classic fear the blank page, that, paralyzing self-doubt or pressure to make something amazing that stops you before you even start.
So when you boil it all down, Rubin's core question is almost like a whisper, isn't it? What if creativity isn't some rare talent, but just a natural state, available to anyone willing to listen?
Yeah. He really wants to help us bridge that gap, shift from doing to being.
It's not about the how-to, but the how you are.
And shifting from scarcity to abundance, gently reminding us it's not locked away.
Ultimately, he's trying to rescue creativity, as he puts it, from the prison of perfection, performance, and profit.
Which, for anyone who's felt that weight, is incredibly freeing.
Definitely. Speaking of freeing, Rubin sort of quietly blows up a number of these pervasive myths, these landmines, throughout the book.
He does.
As we go through these, maybe, think about which ones you might have held on to. I know I've definitely bought into a few myself over the years.
Oh, for sure. It's easy to. So, Rubin systematically takes down about 7 common myths. And he replaces them with these, liberating truths.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, and this is probably the biggest one, creativity is for the gifted few.
The idea that you're either born with it or you're not.
Right. But Rubin's counter is so powerful. Creativity is our natural state. It's what we do, not who we are. He's saying it's a birthright, like curiosity.
So it's not just about art with a capital A chef improvising, an engineer finding a clever solution.
Exactly. They're absolutely being creative, even if they don't call themselves artists.
Okay, what's myth number 2?
Number 2, you must know what you're doing before you begin. This is the one that fuels procrastination, right? Endless planning.
Oh, yeah. Analysis paralysis.
Totally. Rubin's truth here is just so freeing.
Yeah.
Not knowing is not a weakness. It's where the best work is born.
Wow. So jump in, embrace the mess.
Yeah. Allow the past to kind of reveal itself. Trust the process.
Okay.
Then there's the myth that the value of art is measured by its success. You know, commercial success, good reviews, likes.
The external stuff.
Right. Rubin cuts through that. The outcome is out of your hands. The act is yours alone. The real value is in the presence you bring while making it.
Not the applause after. Makes sense.
Myth number 4, the one that gets romanticized a lot. You have to suffer or struggle to make great art.
The tortured artist trope.
Exactly. But Rubin suggests pain isn't required. His truth. Great art doesn't demand suffering. It demands presence. He actually champions joy, play, curiosity.
That one really hits home for me. We often equate struggle with worth. It's a real trap. What else does he challenge?
Okay, next up. The myth of perfection is the goal. This stops so many projects dead in their tracks.
The endless tweaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubin offers huge relief here. What you leave out is as important as what you put in. Perfection is a mirage, he argues. It chokes the life out of things.
So embracing good enough or finished is actually key.
It can be. Number 6, you must control the outcome. This is tough, especially when you pour your heart into something.
You want people to get it the way you intend it.
Of course. But Rogan's wisdom is to loosen that grip. When you release the work, it becomes something else. Trust it. Once it's out there, it takes on its own life.
You can't control how it lands.
Nope. And finally, number 7, a really deep one. Originality means creating from nothing. That puts impossible pressure on people.
The blank slate idea.
Right. Rubin's view. You're a channel. The source is bigger than you. All creation is kind of a conversation, a remix, filtered through your unique lens.
So these aren't just arguments, they're invitations to a different way of thinking about it all.
A much more liberating way, I think.
And these invitations, wow, they couldn't feel more timely. Let's maybe shift focus to why the book feels so relevant, especially right now in 2025.
Yeah, it's not just about art anymore, is it? It feels like a compass for navigating modern life.
Definitely guiding us towards meaning, not just giving directions.
It's actually kind of amazing how radical his philosophy feels today. It's such an antidote to that constant productivity, that hustle culture.
Right. He just asks us to pause, to live in the creative flow moment to moment.
It's like medicine for all the noise, you
Yeah.
know? An antidote to burnout. In a world always pushing for more, his call to just be and listen feels revolutionary.
It really does.
And then you throw AI into the mix. I mean, in 2025, AI can write thousands of words instantly,
Yeah.
spit out catchy tunes.
Yeah, the landscape is changing fast.
And that's where Rubin's philosophy goes from just radical to absolutely vital. He keeps saying, creativity is not about the artifact, it's about the connection.
It's how you're doing it, how deeply you're listening, how honestly you're responding.
How alive you feel. That's the human element AI can't replicate. AI can generate a poem about loss, sure.
But it hasn't felt loss. It doesn't have that lived experience, that vulnerability.
Exactly. Rubin's reminding us that our unique humanness, that's our greatest creative asset right now.
That is precisely the urgent point, isn't it? Why these ideas matter now. He talks about us drowning in noise, starving for meaning.
And saying, in a world obsessed with volume, quiet is a superpower.
Oh,
I love that.
me too. He also says creativity is not a luxury, it's survival. Because our nature is to create. It's how we make sense of chaos.
So it's not just for artists in studios, it's for everyone making sense of their life.
And crucially, in this age of AI, automation, and the return to soul, he reminds us what you make doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be true.
Putting that human fingerprint, that soul, back in.
Yes. And he notes the burnout and the lost joy of play, saying, play is where discovery lives. Make room for it every day. A call to reclaim that joy.
Which we desperately need.
And finally, he gives us permission to be human in a world of performance, arguing, art is a mirror. The truer you are, the more it reflects.
A call for authenticity in a world often demanding curated perfection, especially online.
It's profound.
Given all this, you really do wonder what Rubin might add if he did an update today, focusing on these intersections.
Like a 2025 edition.
Yeah. He'd probably have a whole section on how to stay human when the machines create too. Maybe advising something like, let the machines remix the notes. Your job is to sing with a human heart.
Leaning into intuition, emotion, vulnerability, the stuff AI simulates but doesn't possess.
Exactly. And he definitely talk about cultivating deep attention in the age of intimate scroll.
Mm.
Reminding us to protect your silence. It's where your next idea is waiting.
Protecting quiet becomes this radical act of creative self-care.
Totally. And he'd surely explore beyond the algorithm, making what matters.
Yeah.
Maybe with a thought like, a billion hearts can beat for your work and still not make it true. Only yours can do that.
Wow. Focusing on internal resonance, not just external metrics.
Yeah, it feels like the title for that update would have to be something like A Way of Being, even when the world wants you to be a machine.
That hits hard. Captures the urgency perfectly.
It does.
So, after exploring all these layers, what are the absolute core insights Rubin really hopes you, the reader, take away? The main things to sort of internalize.
Okay, yeah, the 5 key takeaways. These are like the guiding principles woven through the whole book.
Let's break them down. Number 1.
Foundational. Creativity is a state of being, not a skill. As he puts it, your job is to listen. The art will find you.
So it implies this quiet receptivity, being open to inspiration that's always around, not something you have to force.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a way of seeing, a way of experiencing. Less about technique, more about tuning in.
Okay, got it. Number 2.
You are a channel, not the source. He advises you don't invent the wave, you ride it.
That takes off so much pressure, the pressure to be utterly original, conjure something from thin air.
Right. You become the unique filter for universal ideas. It acknowledges that creation often feels more like discovery than pure invention.
Makes sense.
Number 3, trust the process and embrace the unknown. His message is pretty direct. Begin before you're ready. Magic lives in what you don't know.
That connects right back to that fear of the blank page myth.
Absolutely. It's about leaning into uncertainty. Understanding the journey itself is where the real stuff happens. The path appears as you walk it.
That reframe, not knowing is not a weakness, is so powerful for so many of us.
It really is. Okay, number 4, value process over outcome. Rubin states it plainly. The act is yours, the outcome isn't.
Freeing you from needing external validation, right? The likes, the sales, the awards.
Exactly. The true measure is the integrity, the presence, the joy you bring while making. It emphasizes the intrinsic reward over the extrinsic one.
The doing is the reward.
In essence, yes. And finally, number 5, release attachment and perfectionism. He urges, let your art be wild, love it enough to set it free.
Don't strangle it with control or anxiety or that endless chase for unattainable perfection.
Right. Know when it's done for you and let it go. Let it live its own life out in the world.
These 5 insights, they really do feel like lucky stones you can just carry around with you from the book.
That's a great way to put it.
Ideas like begin again, every day's a fresh start, process over product, enjoy the journey, silence is fertile. Insights live in the quiet gaps.
Art is for living. Making is fundamental to being human.
And my favorite, that beautiful permission he grants. Permission to make messes, to follow intuition, to get lost, to show up, to risk vulnerability. It's a whole philosophy.
And it's not just abstract theory, right? These ideas come from his own life, his practices. He talks about silence and solitude, non-attachment, process journaling, daily rituals.
You can tell it's lived experience.
Decades of it. Producing such diverse artists, from Johnny Cash's raw soul to Kanye West's boundary-pushing sounds, plus his own mindfulness journey, Zen Buddhism.
Observing patterns everywhere.
Yeah, studying Eastern thought, and crucially, learning from failure. Learning to let go. As he says, stillness is where the best ideas visit.
And that other great quote, every dead end was a doorway to something unexpected.
Exactly. It reframes failure completely.
Which is why these insights feel like such a gentle rebellion, as you said, against the sort of industrial complex of creativity.
Yeah, challenging that whole status quo.
Valuing the universal nature of creativity, not just exclusive talent. Seeing the artist as a receiver, not just a maker. Prioritizing process over product. Championing silence and imperfection.
It's truly liberating.
Yeah.
Echoing his point. Being a creator isn't about talent. It's about noticing, feeling, being open. Art is available to all.
It really is a profound invitation just to live more fully, more creatively in everything you do.
Absolutely.
And there you have it, our deep dive into Rick Rubin's profound book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. If we had to boil it down to one sharp sentence.
Maybe something like, creativity is our natural birthright, a way of seeing, feeling, and moving through the world with openness, humility, and wonder, where the act of making is as sacred as anything we might ever make.
That captures it beautifully.
So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to carry away today, building on this idea of creativity as a way of being. Consider this. What single small act of presence, or maybe non-attachment, can you bring into your daily life today? Something to embrace your own creative being, regardless of the outcome.
Like what?
Maybe it's just truly listening your next conversation, or noticing the light patterns on your walk, or maybe just allowing yourself 5 minutes to follow some fleeting curiosity without judging where it leads or if it's productive.
A small shift in awareness.
Exactly. A
Okay.
tiny step towards living that creative being state.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it sparks some new ways of thinking about your own creative potential, whatever form that takes.
Keep listening, keep creating, keep noticing.
And keep exploring these ideas in your own unique journey.